those things that are harmful to a right walk with the Lord, meaning those things which he had just described concerning loving money and pursuing worldly wealth were to be fled from. Fleeing is an active action. It's not something passive. When there's something coming at you, you flee. Okay, I was watching a Mail Online. I couldn't believe they actually showed it. Usually when you go to Mail Online and they have a video where somebody gets shot, they stop it right when the gun comes up, before the person gets shot. But they had somebody walking along with headphones on. And she's in Russia, I think it was. And she's just walking along, and because she has headphones on, she doesn't know a train is coming. And it just plowed right over her. Blah, 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 right? And what was my point there? Oh, if she wasn't wearing those, or if she looked, what would she have done? She would have fled. She would have actively gotten out of the way of the harm. And she didn't. I could not believe that they didn't cut that out. They always do. But down she went, and she just disappeared under the train. Okay, fleeing is an active action. It's something that we do when we know that something is wrong, something is dangerous. Okay, Timothy wasn't simply told to not pursue those things. He wasn't told that. He was told to flee from them. Run away from those type of things. He was to put a distance between himself and such things, and to continue to increase that distance at all times. And while fleeing from those things, the same time he is instructed to pursue righteousness. You don't just do one thing. While you're doing one thing, you're also doing another. You're fleeing from that, you're pursuing righteousness. Do to it, what do they call it? Multitasking. So Paul is asking Timothy to multitask. Flee from these things and pursue righteousness. You can do both at the same time. Timothy, and thus each of us, don't have to simply flee from unhealthy desires, but while doing so, we can pursue that which is proper at the same time. Multitasking. This same basic sentiment is found in Romans 12:21, where it says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." That's a hard one. Somebody comes up and smacks you in the face, and what do? You smack them back in the face. All right. I translated that verse within the past week, where somebody strikes you on the right. I think it was this morning. Anyway, then you give them your left. Right. That's not easy to do. I know I said this a couple years ago, but probably some of you didn't hear it, and it's well worth hearing. Is this big guy? He was a boxer, and he became a Christian, and somebody wanted to test him, and so he went up to the door, and he Foreman? No, this isn't real. He went up to the door and he said, "I understand you're a Christian. Well, prove it." And he says, "Well, how do I prove it?" And the guy just smacked him right in the face. He turned his cheek to the other side, and the guy went and smacked him a second time, and he said, "What do you think about that?" Smacked him one more time, and he says, "I have no more instruction from the Lord," and he beat him up. So, yeah, he says, turn your cheek, anyway, after the second one, there's no more instruction. So, anyway, yeah, we're all tempted to be overcome by evil. That's the point. It was a funny joke. I know I don't give jokes they're just due. I've got a brother that knows every joke he's ever heard in his entire life, and he can say it well. I'm not like that. Okay. The only joke I can consistently remember, I've never forgotten this one. It's the funniest joke I've ever heard, and you've heard it, so don't answer it. He may have heard it. I don't know if anybody else has. How do you top a car? How do you top a car? Tap on the brakes, stupid. So a joke I can remember.
I have heard that, but
yeah, it was years ago. I told you at the projects. That was years ago. So a joke I can remember. Tap on the brake, stupid. All right. I know that was a dumb joke, but it's the only one that sticks. Okay, so let's see here. Where are we? 12:21. Don't be overcome by evil. In pursuing righteousness, the desires of worldly gain will be lessened. One overcomes the other. Okay, if you're doing one thing, it'll overcome the other. All right. The righteousness that Paul speaks of is that which God is the source. Okay, you can be righteous in various ways, but if God is not the source, then it is not the kind of biblical righteousness it's speaking of. It is a divine righteousness, which comes with the approval of God as one pursues it. All right, along with this, Paul tells him to pursue godliness. This is the inner response. This is Helps Word Studies definition. Godliness is the inner response to the things of God, which shows itself in godly piety. That is godliness. It is a godly response of the heart to those things that God is pleased with. Okay, if he's happy with it and you're responding that way, then that is godliness.